Hi coloring friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working on a page that I've started in Johanna Basford's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. This is one of my 10 books that I wanted to complete this year, and I am making very slow progress in this one, but I figure, it's only June, why give up now? So we're going to keep getting as far as we can in this book, and whatever I end up accomplishing will be wonderful. So I am working on this page here, and it is kind of the lead-in to the dragons here, which I hope to work on next, actually. And I am using just Prismacolor on this page. So let me go ahead and zoom in a little closer, and I'm going to get to work and we'll talk about my plans for the page as I'm coloring. All right, so I'm gonna keep working on this type of flower right over here in the corner. When I started this page, I wasn't sure the color palette I wanted to use for it, and I asked my youngest what she thought I should use, and she said, I think you should do all the flowers in blues, so that is what I'm doing. Sometimes it's just easier to let someone else make the decision. So yeah, I'm using all Prismacolor on this. Of course, they work wonderfully in Johanna Basford books, so they are very nice to use. I always get kind of stuck with flowers, how to shade them and variations of color, and especially in Johanna Basford's books, because she has so many different flowers, and you kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but sometimes I run out of ideas on how to color them. And when that happens, I either, if it's a color issue, I'll ask somebody else like I did with this one. But also, I will just Google flowers and look at the different colors of flowers out there to get some ideas on how I want to approach them. Or I'll go into Instagram and just search Johanna Basford and then look at all the different pictures other people have colored and get some flower ideas from that too. Color palette and shading and all of that. So yeah, if you're stuck, there's a couple of different ways to approach. It's almost like writer's block, but with coloring. There we go. Kind of wanted to leave a light spot on this one. All right, there's another petal down. Let's see, I think I may turn. I'm going to turn this just a little bit. Sorry to make anybody dizzy. Just to tackle this one at a different angle here. So I definitely want to do a background for this page as well. It's going to be a little different though. I'm hoping I can make it match my vision. So a wonderful viewer commented on, I believe it was the video where I said that I had this in my books to complete. And they let me know that a tip that if you read the page, there can be clues in the part of the story as to how to color the page. So I know, like the butterfly picture I colored in here before, it said something in the story about a butterfly with gilded wings flying out of the painting. And so, you know, when I colored it, I made sure to give the butterfly gold wings to match the story. So this page says, let's see if I can find it. It says, as they walked through a shady patch of ferns, House Mouse raised her nose to the sky and sniffed. Smokes, she squeaked. She was right. There was a scorched tinge to the air. They must be nearing Dragonia. So I decided that we needed to have smoke kind of billowing in through from the dragon page into this page. So my plan, if I can achieve it, is to take my a gray distress ink and kind of lightly have it pouring out from the center of this page across and kind of over the flowers, you know, to make it look like smoky air. So I am going to attempt that. I'm really hoping that I can make it work and look okay. Because I like how the flowers are turning out and the leaves. I like how they've turned out so far. So I'd hate to ruin it with a big splodge of gray over top. So I know I'm really gonna have to focus on using a light hand when I'm doing it, so I don't end up with big inky splodges all over my pretty flowers. But yeah, we'll see. I think it could be really cool if I can achieve it. I feel like I say that about every page I do. If I can match what my brain thinks that I can do, then it'll be great. All right. Turn again. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Need to do that. So these are fairly simple. I'm really just changing my pressure and shading to get the different tones that I want on this type of flower. I actually came up with well, I mean, it's not like it was a big, huge discovery. I'm sure other people have already done it, but it was the first time I tried it out. So, but I combined, it was the ginger root in the Prismacolors and I think it was the apple green. It might have been the spring green. Let's see, it's right here. It's this one. Yeah, it was the apple green. So the ginger root and apple green. I have the ginger root right on top here, I think. Yeah. So these two together, I put them together to do these leaves up here. Let's see if I can, I don't have a lot of space to move here. So I did that on these leaves here, and I like the way that turned out. Kind of a different tone for leaves. And again, there's so many leaves on this page that, you know, I wanted to vary it a little bit, but still have them all look cohesive, I guess. Yeah, so I combined those two colors for those, and I really like that. I don't know. I don't have the full Prismacolor set. I have let's see, the 72 count of the Prismacolors, and I have to say that's the one thing I struggle with that set, especially in a Johanna Basford book, is the greens. There's like just a handful of greens, and I try to combine them and mix them up a little bit to get some variation, but I feel like just not enough greens. I don't know if when you get to the higher count sets, if there's, you know, a little bit more of a selection in the green tones. But yeah, that's definitely a struggle for me with that set. It's like I don't want to color every single leaf the same 3 colors of green. It gets kind of boring. So yeah, I don't know. I should look into that and see. I'm sure. I know I have the full set of Prismas on my wish list for like a birthday or something, and but I should look into if that set will actually get me, you know, what's lacking here. Because if it's not, I don't know if I need it anyway. I would imagine, though, usually a set, when it gets bigger, expands on the greens and blues. So So it is a beautiful sunny summer day here today. I will be heading off to work here in just a little bit, so this will probably be a 2-part video. Well, not a 2-part video, but filmed in 2 separate times because I just won't have the time to finish today, but I figured I'd get going a little bit. Got a little extra time, so might as well make the best of it. All right, 2 more petals and then I can move on to something different. Hopefully that's not too terribly boring to watch, that many of the same petal being colored. And then I'll be finished with this type of flower. Yay! Always love those little victories while you're coloring, like, oh, okay, I finished that whole tree, or I made it through that bunch of ferns, you know, and you're kind of like, little victory there when you've completed something. Especially if it's something extra tedious, like these teeny tiny little leaves over here. It was kind of a nice little victory to get those all done. Although I do love the way those turned out too. So I need to get up on, I feel like I've been out of the loop and just, I don't know, we're, you know, into summer, and my son is going to be playing football in the fall, so he has practice 3 mornings a week, and then we've got, you know, work and just trying to get geared up for a vacation that we're going to be going on next month, which I'm super looking forward to, but there is a little bit of prep involved. So just with all that stuff going on, I feel like I just have been out of the loop with a lot of things. I need to get my act together again, really. But yeah, so I haven't been following much on Instagram, or I've been watching some coloring on YouTube, but not a lot. And I feel like there's got to be some summery things going on that I'm not keyed in on yet. But I'd like to get there. I think the other thing is, you know, once it gets nice out, I really like to enjoy as much outside as I can. My favorite thing to do is sit outside on our deck and read. So I've been doing a lot of reading. A lot of reading. And then our firehouse does a big used book sale every June, and so I definitely hit that up too. I'm going to come up here and work on this flower here. Now for that one, I was using, it's typical Whip Kelly with my pencils all shoved in the book. So for that one, I was using this True Blue, and then I believe, what is it in the middle there? I believe that middle section I put a touch of the Copenhagen blue. So we'll see. That's the one thing about whips that's no fun at all, is figuring out how on earth you were attacking it in the first place and making where you stopped match where you pick back up. Or I guess making where you pick back up match what you stopped. That makes more sense. Yeah, but the firehouse near us always does a used book sale in June, and it is awesome. They often have like book of the month books, like just stacks and stacks of them. And I mean, they're all look like brand new, untouched books. Yep, that's what I did. Okay, it's True Blue and the Copenhagen a little bit in the center of those petals. But then the deal is you go and they give you a grocery bag, and you can fill the whole grocery bag as full as you can possibly get it with books for $5. And the math nerd in me had to calculate out last year. So I figured out that the bag of books that I got, the per book cost ended up being, I think, 37 cents a book. That's a really good deal. Really good deal. And I'm telling you, these books all look like basically brand new. And then this year I calculated out, because of course I had to compare the deal I got. And I think this year's price per book was 33 cents. So I'm not sure how I did a little better this year. But yeah, very excited. So I have a great big new stack of books here. I have 0 room left for them on my bookshelves, which is an issue. I really need to start paring down the collection, and, you know, I don't need to keep books that I'm not going to reread. I do have a fair number of books that I've read and know that I would like to reread, or do reread every so often. So there's those on the shelves that won't go, but I really need to make room for these new ones because it's a little ridiculous in here right now. I have an office slash craft room that I use, but it is not very big. It's quite a small. It's supposed to be a bedroom, but I cannot honestly imagine even a twin size bed in this room. I mean, it would be you would have just enough room for the bed pushed up against one wall and then maybe a dresser, maybe. And then the closet is super tiny too, so I don't know. Um, but it works well for a craft room. It's just I hoard too many things. That's the real problem. I have too much stuff. Um, I would love to really get my act together and do like a craft room slash library organize and makeover. But honestly, to do that, I need to get myself into the mindset of being okay with getting rid of some things, because that's really the only way that this is going to get better. Be, you know, a really functional makeover is if I am willing to part with some things. So, and I do get there. I have moments where you know, get realistic and dive in and get rid of some things, but it's not all the time. More often but I might need this one day. I might be able to use this. I know there will be a day when I'm working on some kind of project and I'm going to be happy that we have this stuck in here. That kind of thing. Um, I fall into that trap more often than not. So, yeah, that's a someday dream, is to do a little makeover of this space and maybe have a little makeover series on my channel. I'd love to do that. But the other thing is I need to wait till the budget's a little more flexible again. Right now, everything is so expensive. I can't do extras like that. So, but someday, I mean, I could always make out a plan right now and um, figure out what I want to do, because I really don't have any idea of that either. I have a nice desk, so I don't need to mess with that at all. I need to revamp the organization of the desk, but I don't need to get a desk. So that's one big purchase that is not necessary. It's really, I think, going to be more buying paint. We definitely need paint in here. The walls are original as we bought the house, which we've been in for 9 years now. And they are a little, well, to be honest, they're a little colored on in a few places because my youngest went through a phase when she was little, well, for quite a while actually, where she would color on our walls. And I don't know why. I don't know why she did it so much, but she colored on all kinds of walls in the house. Um, and she was disciplined for it. It was not like we were like, oh, that's cute. Um, you know, she was told this is not what we do. I don't know. I don't know what went on in her little head when she did all that. Because you know, come into a room and there would be this whole, and I mean, when she was really little, it was scribbles, but once she got older, it was like actual artwork, which I don't know if she was just like, she's artistic like me. And I don't know if the spirit was just calling her to do it or what, but many times we had artwork on the walls. But yes, so there is some artwork on the walls in this office. So that will need to be painted over for sure. Although I have to admit that anytime we have painted over areas that she did artwork, I did have to take pictures before we painted over it. Just because, you know, you never get that back. It's just like a picture on paper, really. Okay, so I'm on to this flower. I did a closed one, but the open ones are going to look a little different. So I think I'm going to leave the tips white like I did over here. The very center is going to be my darkest area, and then I think it was I know the indigo blue was the darkest area down here and in the center, and then I think I did the Copenhagen blue as the lighter portion of that. So I think that's what I'm gonna try here. Ugh. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, office, definitely repainting will be needed. The closet could use a revamp in organization, really. Really want that center area to be quite dark. There we go. Yeah, I have like these plasticky storage drawers, and they are, well, they're going to need to be sorted through also. They are another typical me hanging on to everything just in case we may ever use it again. I mean, I have pieces of fabric from a little outfit I made my oldest when she was a baby. And I'm just, you know, like hanging on to that, like, oh, just in case I ever need that again. So stuff like that will need to be pared down. And that's where I get stuck, because there's, you know, obviously an emotional attachment then to stuff that I worked with when they were babies and that kind of thing. I don't know if I love the way this is looking. What can I do to fix it? Carry that out a little bit, see if that helps. Not really. All right. I may do a very lightest blue to the edge. Ooh, which that one needs to be sharpened. What is that? That's cloud blue. Yeah, I think I might try that. I'm gonna need a sharpen here. Look at that. Look at that guy. Ooh, boy. I don't know what I was doing with this one, but boy, I ran it to the ground. So we're just gonna do a little sharpen here. There we go. Much better. Okay, this is what I'm using, by the way. It's just a, like, very budgety. It has two different sizes, handheld, little sharpener. I need to empty it clearly. That I got from Walmart. And it has an eraser on this side too, which has definitely come in handy. And I mean, look at this. It makes a wonderful point on your pencils too. I haven't had any problems at all so far. And the bigger section will sharpen my brute fooners, the squares, um, where I can't get it to fit in anything else. So I will link this below if I can find it. But yeah, I like that one a lot. I think it's just their Walmart's like pen and gear line. That one, whatever their. Maybe I'll try and just do that too. See if that helps. Oh, I'm not enjoying this flower as much as the other ones. It's a little better, I guess. This is not my favorite flower of the page. Yes, so back to office again. Yes, closet organization needs to be done. That will help the rest of the room a lot because then I'll have, you know, a place to put everything, basically. I think it's hard too. I have so much, like, there's a lot going on in this room. So I like to obviously color. I like to read. So I've got the library end of things on the one wall with two bookshelves there. And then I have, stuff for diamond painting that I like. And I have some sewing things, which I don't currently do a lot of, but there's always oh, maybe someday I'll get back to that. Oh, thank goodness, there's only one more of this flower, because, oh, that one is rough for me for some reason. All right, I am back with this page, and it feels like a long time for me because it was June when I originally started working on this, and it is now the last day of August. So kind of got away from me a little bit in the summer, but I'm going to finish it back up now. I did work on the remaining flowers off camera, and I am ready to do the smoke billowing in that I wanted to do from the dragon page. So I have, move that over to the side. I have my square pastel sticks. They're just a set of soft pastels that I got from Hobby Lobby. They are the Master's Touch line. And I did, so I wanted to have darker smoke starting at the spine of the book and then kind of lightening up as it goes out. So I decided on, this is the very darkest one. It looks like it would be a black, but it's really almost like a dark French gray, like a 70% French gray, I would say. And then this next light is the gray shade. So I'm going to use those two and kind of blend them together a little bit. Let me get that out of the way. And I am using, well, let me pull you in first and then we'll go over what I'm doing here. All right, it's a good thing I'm using the gray because I've already put a nice little gray fingerprint there. So my method for how I use the chalk pastels is I'm just going to set this right here. Just for the moment, I don't want to shave my chalk on my book, but so I just have an X-Acto knife here, And I just take it and shave a little bit of the chalk pastel onto a paper towel. And then I just pick it up with a Q-tip and then smudge it onto the page there. So I'm going to be shaving it over here off of the book so I don't get it on my book where I don't want it. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to get a little pile of each real quick. And sorry if that scraping noise disturbs anyone. I know I personally am not a huge fan of... I like the ambient rooms that are out there on YouTube where, you know, there's like ocean sounds or that kind of thing, but I do not like the ASMR videos that have like paper crinkling or people eating or, you know, that kind of stuff. Things shaking, and I just do not like it at all. Okay, so we're going to start with the darkest here, and I can go a little bit into this page because I will carry that. I'm not exactly sure how, but I will carry it with the dragon page as well, so... And it's going to be kind of an easier one to do because it's smoke, so it's just going to be kind of billowy, I guess, cloudy. Just a little bit more down here. I'm not going to take it all the way to the ground because obviously smoke rises, so we're going to have it go up. And I'm not going to have it take over the whole page. I'll fix that a little bit here. Yeah, I don't want to have it come across the whole page because I feel like they're coming upon the smoke, not that the smoke has completely overtaken this area. This is, the chalk pastel has really become a favorite background technique. It's definitely my most used background. I think I just have enough of a comfort level that I'm not afraid to dive in and use it. It's nice because it doesn't really cover over what you've already colored. You can see there's not a huge difference there. And you can also erase it too, so it's the other thing I like about it. So I'm not as afraid to do it as something like a Inktense or the Distress inks. I feel like these are a little more forgiving. They move a little bit more. Now that being said, once you put them down, you do need to fix them to the page so they don't continue to move around. So there is that extra step, but I still prefer the chalk pastels. I need to kind of force myself to broaden my background abilities a little bit and just dive in and try out, because I'm never going to learn or I'm never going to achieve a comfort level with the other things unless I get in there and try with them. So I need to make a point of doing that. And I'm just going to have this carry. So I've moved on to the lighter. I'm just kind of blending it into the darker. And then continuing out with it. And hopefully this doesn't end up looking just super weird and dirty. I know what I was trying to do. So there's that. I just want it to go kind of into the words that say smoke here. And let's see, I'm going to carry this lighter up and out over here too a little bit. All right, I'm just going to have this swirl through the words there. That and the other thing that's nice about the chalk pastels is, I mean, you really get a background down very quickly. Now, it's not going to be as intense of a background. So all the colors end up looking a bit brighter or lighter than they do in stick form. But that's okay. I'm not always a huge fan of backgrounds anyway. Sometimes I just like the colored picture, and I think that's enough. But, you know, it's all a matter of personal preference. It's probably my favorite thing about coloring is you could give 100 people the same picture and they're all going to do it differently, and they're all going to be beautiful in their own way, and, you know, something to appreciate. I think it's so cool. I love looking on Instagram at, especially after I've colored a picture. I don't like doing it before I've colored a picture so much because I don't want to be, well, A, I don't want to be influenced and not do my own work, but B, I can really talk myself out of how good a job I do by looking at other people's work. So, but after I color a picture, I always like to go on Instagram and try to find that picture and see how other people colored it, and how we, you know, interpreted it differently and used different colors and all that. So, trying to think if I want to keep going any more into the page or if I want to leave it there. Might just carry the lightest a little bit further up the page here. Got a little crazy with that. And then we'll just let it lightly taper off there. There we go. Hopefully my lighting is not too crazy. The sun is really bobbing in and out of the clouds here. Let me see. It's hard to pick up that lighter shade on camera. I can see it much more here than I do on the camera there, but just gotta touch more here. There we go. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it there, and I know it's harder to see. I think the chalk doesn't show up the best on camera, but you can see a little bit more of it toward the center here. It does gradually fade out. In real life, you can see that a little bit better. Um, I think it's going to make a little more sense once I have this page colored, and I think I'm going to do the same, but in the darker color smoke all around this area because it continues here and says the smoky air tickled Ivy's throat. So I think this whole backgroundy area is going to be that darker smoky look. And I think that'll make more sense when you see it flowing into this page then. Right now it doesn't look the best. It just looks like a dirty page, but I'm going somewhere with it. So once I have this page all finished, I will share the whole thing at some point, I'm sure. And hopefully my vision ends up turning out the way I'm wanting it to. But thank you so much for joining me on this little coloring journey of this page. It was a long time coming on my end, but please forgive the gap in the video there. I know I mentioned June in the earlier part, so that's why. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!